What's good, Washington fans? Happy Friday. I hope everybody has a good weekend coming up. Unfortunately, I most likely won't be at training camp this year. It's only 1 week. I think in the past years, it's been about like 2 weeks or 3 weeks or something like that in Richmond where fans can go. But this year is only 1 week. So it's just really tough to get out there, but I won't be there this year. I'm hoping to get out there next year, hoping to at least go to a game so I can meet up with some of you guys or meet up at a bar or something like that. But I won't be able to go out there and train. I had a lot of fun in 2019 when I went. Saw a lot of subscribers, met a lot of people that watched the channel, so it was a blast. I had a lot of fun. I mean, I remember walking around and people who don't watch the channel, because people were coming up to me, they were like, "Who are you?" And I was like, they were like, "Are you a player or something?" I was like, "No, I'm just a YouTuber." So, but it was pretty fun. It was pretty cool in 2019. So I do want to go to a game, and I'm trying to. I'm definitely gonna go next year in 2022 for sure. But just want to give you guys an update with that. But this video is 5 ways the offense improved. Already did 5 ways the defense improved. Did the same videos last year, so I'm just doing it again. This year, I think first I want to go with Ryan Fitzpatrick. I'm not the biggest Ryan Fitzpatrick fan. Didn't love the move when it first happened, but after thinking about it, letting it grow on me a little bit, it was a solid move. It was a good move for the quarterbacks that were available without having to trade a pick or move up in the draft or anything like that. We kept our first round pick and future picks. We got Ryan Fitzpatrick for $10 million. And I think he fits what Scott Turner's trying to do. He fits what Ron Rivera wants to do. They want to throw the ball downfield. They want to stretch the field. They want to be the complete opposite of what we were last year. Alex Smith, he won us games, but checking the ball down this year is not going to win us games. We had some of the worst quarterback play in the NFL. We had the worst QBR rating, quarterback rating for all three quarterbacks combined. We had the worst quarterback rating. And Ryan Fitzpatrick actually had the 5th best quarterback rating in 2020 and had the 8th best quarterback rating in 2020 for whatever it's worth. Ryan Fitzpatrick, 4-3 as a starter last year, did pretty well when they were tanking for Tua. He won about 5 or 6 games with that roster, which is one of the worst rosters in history of the NFL when they were tanking for Tua. And he was actually the leading rusher, so he had no help. He had no run game help while he was in Miami either, for the most part. So we added burners around him, and he's going to stretch the field. 13 touchdowns, 8 picks last year. If he can just temper his game and not throw too many interceptions, he definitely for sure is an upgrade over the quarterback play that we had last year. And also a stat came out not too long ago that he was the #1 rated quarterback under pressure. He had a 98.6 passer rating under pressure, which was first in the NFL, and a 62.1 completion percentage, which was first in the NFL under pressure. So there's some things to like about Ryan Fitzpatrick. There really is some things to like. And there's certainly things to dislike for sure. So I get both sides of the argument. Fitz tragic, Fitz magic. I get both sides, but he certainly is an upgrade over what we had last year. You remember the pass under pressure against the Raiders where he had his face mask pulled to the side on Sunday Night Football or Thursday Night Football? That was incredible. That was a good play. I mean, I got to give him credit for that. When he does come off the bench, he is an all-pro quarterback for the most part when he comes off the bench. It's just sometimes when he starts 5 or 6 games in a row, that's kind of when things get off the rails. But we'll see what he can do. He's played really well for the past 2 years. So the narrative is that he's a bad quarterback, which is not true. It's not true. He's actually been a solid quarterback for the past 2 years. So I'm gonna definitely giving Ryan Fitzpatrick a chance. Do want to see what he can do out there. If he is the starter day one, if it's a legit competition, we'll see if Heineke can come up there and surprise him. So he is the first way that we improve. The second way for me offensively is adding Curtis Samuel on a pretty good deal. It was a 3-year, $34 million deal, which is not bad at all. And he's going to be our number 2. What he does for us, he stretches the field, brings more speed, ran a 4.3 140-yard dash, takes the pressure off of Terry McLaurin. We needed somebody to come in and take the pressure off Terry McLaurin. We needed a guy that we can rely on and be that solid number 2 option. Also brings position flex, which is Ron Rivera's favorite word in the world. Favorite 2 words, position flex. He can be a running back and a wide receiver. He can be a slot. He can play outside. You can just move him all around. Scott Turner's got to be creative with this guy. Averaged 6.6 yards per carry in his career. The guy played running back in high school too. Played a little running back at Ohio State too. So he did a really good job running the football out of the backfield for Carolina last year when Christian McCaffrey was hurt. and he's a deep ball threat. I mean, Ryan Fitzpatrick, this is a guy that's perfect for Ryan Fitzpatrick, a guy who wants to throw the ball down the field. Curtis Samuel had the highest passer rating when targeted, 20+ yards down the field. So this guy is a burner. Him and Terry Malone, they probably are one of the, they should be a top 10 or top 5 dynamic wide receiver duo by the end of this year, in my opinion. So you take the pressure off of Terry, make this offense more dynamic, offer position flex as well. So I mean, I'm excited to see what Curtis Samuel will do. I was hyped when we signed him. I kind of knew it was going to happen because of the Panthers connection. I was calling it from day one when the season was over, and you saw how he killed us with Jeremy Reeves, where he gave Jeremy Reeves a piggyback ride and just beat us deep for a long pass against us in that Carolina Panthers game. So he's the second reason why we got better. Just adding more speed, more position flex, and taking the pressure off of Terry McLaurin. And he's going to put a lot of pressure on the defense. And he's going to make things easier for Antonio Gibson, too. When you have two speedsters and burners on the outside, you can't really load up in a box because you gotta pay attention to Terry McLaurin and Curtis. And the next way we improved is by adding Dyami Brown. Dyami Brown was my favorite pick of the draft in the third round. Adding more speed, ran a 4.44, ran a 4.4 40-yard dash. Coming out of Carolina, had 20 yards a catch. I mean, just incredible numbers, just a deep threat. You watch his highlights, you see the swag, you see the confidence in his game. Played really well at minicamp and OTAs. He burned, of course, he's going to burn Troy Apke, but he also burned Ben St. Juice as well, who had a heck of a minicamp. So I've heard nothing but good things about Dyami Brown. He's definitely, I think he's going to start day one for sure. He's going to be our third option, and that's just scary. You look at the upgrades from the wide receiver core from last year, starting Dontrell Inman, and who was the other starter? It was Dontrell, Terry, and then I forgot who else. Oh, Steven Sims. So to go from those guys being our starters to go to Terry, Curtis, and Dyami, I mean, that's just a 110% upgrade in my opinion. Dyami Brown is going to be a great deep threat, and he's also great. These guys fit what Fitzpatrick wants to do, what Scott Turner wants to do. Also, Taylor Honey, he looks down the field too. So if he gets some burn in some games, Taylor Honey's going to be throwing the pill down to these guys. These guys can run and stretch the field. You just can't load up in the box, like I said, on Antonio Gibson. So it makes it easier for Gibson, makes it easier for Ryan Fitzpatrick as well. So, and Chris Sims had high praise for Dyami Brown as well. He had him as like his fourth best wide receiver, and we got it still in the third round. Our third round picks have been hits, and I think Dyami Brown is going to be another hit in that third round for us. The next way we improved, I think, was by adding Sam Cosmi and getting more offensive line depth. I just think adding Eric Flowers was a big addition, helping us out with the left guard position. Him and Wes Schweitzer battling for that left guard spot. Also, Sadiq Charles coming back. So I'm just going to group all the linemen in one improvement, just the whole offensive line in general. Cornelius Lucas adding Charles Leno at the left tackle position. It just adds more depth and competition. So Sam Cosmi is going to be playing right tackle. And we got battles at every position, basically, except for Brandon Sheriff and Chase Rouillet. Sam Cosmi, he's just an athletic freak. He's an athletic freak that certainly is going to help us out. Charles Leno from the Bears made the Pro Bowl in 2018, and he's played pretty well ever since. So he did a really good job blocking for Mitchell Trubisky and helping them get to the playoffs. So I'm excited to see competition all across the board. Wes Schweitzer, Eric Flowers, that competition right there, and then Cornelius Lucas versus Sam Cosmi as well. So I'm excited to see that competition, right? And last but not least for me is adding John Bates, drafting him in the fourth round. A lot of people wanted to draft Brevin Jordan. I'm not mad at people for that. But John Bates, he adds a different dynamic to this roster. Last year we did not have a tight end number. We did not have a tight end number 2 at all. We tried a couple guys. We tried Jeremy Sprinkle. We tried Tamarick Hemingway. We tried some other guys. I can remember Marcus Ball. So adding John Bates to solidify that tight end 2 spot. Logan Thomas was a beast. He was a boss for this team. 70 catches on the year and a couple of touchdowns. He should have made a Pro Bowl in my opinion. And I expect him to play really, really well again this year. But this guy will get some help because other than Logan Thomas, I think the next most receptions for the team for the tight end, I don't even think the next tight end got over 10 catches. I don't even think they got over 8 catches, to be honest with you. So I think John Bates, I'm not expecting him to come in and have like 30 catches and 5 or 6 touchdowns, but just from a blocking standpoint, he was a really good blocking tight end at Boise State. And our offense is not going to be as predictable as it was before. In the past when we had 2 really good receiving tight ends in Jordan Reaver and Davis, they just weren't great blockers. So it was kind of predictable. You knew, when Jeremy Sprinkle was in, it was a blocking down. And then when Jordan Reed and Vernon Davis were in, is okay, you know, the Washington football team, we're going to go ahead and pass the football. So this time, you know, we're going to keep the defense on our heels. They don't know what's going to happen. John Bates has good hands, too. He didn't catch a lot of passes in college, but you look at the film, he gets up, he can jump. He played basketball, was a track and field athlete as well. He's super athletic. He can get up there and jump. Zach Ertz had good things to say about John Bates as well. And a draft expert as well said that John Bates had the best hands in the draft other than Kyle Pitts. He was the next best guy with the next best hands in that draft. So that's very high praise from a draft expert. I think it was Todd McShay who said that when he got selected. Now, somebody else did compare him to Jeremy Sprinkle, which is the opposite of what we want to see. But I think the addition of John Bates definitely should help this team because we need a tight end that can block and also go out there and catch. So I think Ricky Seals-Jones is going to make the roster. So we have 3 tight ends that can be dynamic and bring something different to the team. So I'm excited for our tight end room. It's not the best in the world, but I think it's pretty solid and better from last year. So those are the 5 ways that I think we improved. If I left anything out, please let me know and put it down in the comment section. So, all right, you guys have a good weekend. Peace.